Hello, all. Welcome to study number five. This solving studies for improving chess calculation. This time, I bring you this interesting position created by Grzegorz Grzeban. I hope I'm not pronouncing it in a wrong way. Uh, Grzeban is a Polish chess composer. Did not too many studies, but still about 150 studies. And this study that bring you here was made not alone. So sometimes the chess composition can bring you more than one author. And this one was made also with the collaboration of Lukasik and Trzesowski. This is from 1963. I find it interesting to show you because this is kind of a teamwork. So the position also demands a lot of teamwork. In the end, we are going to see that we are always forced to play all our pieces as a team. So, as an example of teamwork, let's try to solve this position. Why to play and win. Good luck, have fun, and see you after in the solution. All right. Hope you have enjoyed and hope you have found the right move. That is Bishop B5. Brilliant move. Okay, we have here a scenario to analyze, a starting position. And first thing that we must see is the threat from black. So black is threatening to promote one of its pawns. Of course, the most dangerous move is to play c2 and advance the pawn in the next move without any way to stop it. So white needs to be smart because moves like this one, with the idea of taking and then taking there, well, it's not enough because black will advance the pawn and we will have this winning endgame, but for black instead of for white. So, not being able to play sloppy moves, like for example, we can also try this one, but again, we are just allowing black to win one piece and draw easily. Of course, with black also must not play smart, so taking the knight is enough, and now this is a draw. Because if black here tries to win, like for example, going for the main team of the black side, well, this is already a loss again because we can maneuver our knight with a check. Notice that now the king can't go to c8 because we will checkmate it, so the king needs to come to d7, and now we can fork the king with check and then take the pawn. The knight is controlling the next promotion square, so basically this is a win. We are going to see positions similar to this one in the main line of the solution. So let's come back to the beginning and let's see first the main line. So we are simply allowing black to play c2. Let's see first what happens if it plays d2. Well, this allows our bishop to control immediately the two pawns with the move bishop a4, and now we have time to bring our knight and take all the pawns. Now we are controlling the promotion and so on. So as you see, black basically only has this good move to challenge white to prove that he is able to win. Now, of course, we need to reach that pawns in time, and the only possible way is to play as a team, bringing the knight with check. The king only has one move, and now check again. If the king now goes to c8, this is a very bad idea because I will take the pawn. And yes, you may say, okay, black is threatening to promote. Yeah, you can do it and you are going to be checkmated. So basically the threat of checkmate forces black to come out with the king, but now it just simply give a simple check to remove the threat of losing the knight. The king moves, now I take the pawn, and as you can see, it can't be more simple to win the game. So here, either black goes to any of these moves, we are going to give another discovery check with a bishop. We are going to see that happen. The idea behind this one is very similar to go with the king to d7, but let's first see this one. So I simply give the discover check, the king moves, I take the pawn, I am controlling the other one. This is going to be very similar to the main line, so we are not going to lose here much time. Let's go for the best defense. Why this is the best defense? Because there's also space for white to make another mistake, like for example, of course we are going to try to get this pawn with tempo, like for example giving a check, but here white made the wrong decision as black has this less resource, forcing white to take with any one of the pieces, like for example this one, and then when the king moves, if we take the pawn, we are going to lose the bishop and it's a draw. So when here, we need also to keep paying attention, and the only good move is to go to the other side. This is a double check, so no time for intermediate blocking moves. And now it's going to be pretty more simple, because the king will approach. Here, another critical moment. So we can't lose time uh, getting the c2 pawn. So the best move is to go with bishop a4. So no idea, no more ideas to win the game. Because if we do something like this, wasting time, then we allow the king to approach in time, even taking the pawn, to help promote the pawn and forcing us to sacrifice a knight and losing the winning advantage, of course. So we always need to pay extra attention until the end. So here the move is bishop a4, no other way. The king attacks our knight, but we are controlling the position. We are simply taking the pawn and protecting the knight. And now we just need to be careful about the advancing of the c pawn. But I will show you just one way. Let's see, for example, the king attacks our bishop. The bishop goes here, but now, if you notice, the king can't approach our bishop, and the bishop is defending our knight. So teamwork again. We have a nice way to defend our position. Of course, Black hasn't given up yet, so it will try to bring the pawn, like for example over here. But now, if you notice, we just simply need to control this c2 square. So a simple move like this one is enough, because now we are guaranteeing that the pawn will not cross more from c2. Like for example, if it tries to advance, I just approach my king, and there's no way at the moment for the king to support in time. Let's see it happen, as because when it arrives here, we simply just wait. Now it's black to move, either advancing the pawn, we simply can take it, or if it simply abandons the pawn, like for example over here, we simply take it. Of course, now you need to know how to deliver a checkmate with bishop and knight. Yes, this is never going to happen in a game, like many say. But it's just a question of one day you are in a similar position and your opponent decides, no way, you are going to need to prove that you know how to do it. I hope you have this one well practiced also. Coming back to the starting position, we still need to look at this alternative bishop a4, because this is a very interesting alternative that we have besides bishop b5, but that doesn't work, because of course at the first look it seems like the same thing, because if black tries to advance the pawn, which is a mistake, we are going to see why. I'll have the same maneuver. Like for example, if I'm going here and here, well, when the king can't do nothing, we take the pawn, and we are in a similar situation as we saw in the main line. Here, just one small detail: if the king goes inside, we simply threat first to give checkmate. So the king needs to come again, and when it does that, we simply are going to take the pawn. So basically, more or less the same thing. Uh, so the question here is why this is a mistake for black, because when we are in this, why this is a mistake for white, sorry. Because here in this position black has other moves besides, so black doesn't need exactly to be in a hurry. There are two interesting one, of course there are three that work, but basically getting out of the knight check is enough, because white is now in zugzwang, because whatever it does, I will play c2. So, like for example, if I play like the knight to try to approach to the pawns, there's no way I can stop the promotion, so I am lost. So this is why this is a mistake, and this is not happening when we play bishop b5, because if black tries to do the same thing now, well, we are threatening the other pawn. So that's the difference. It's a small detail, but it's the difference between winning and drawing, and it is also important to mention that. Of course, there are, if you want, by curiosity's sake, other alternatives for black, like this one. Like basically, I am blocking the potential checks that I am going to be forced to escape. Like for example, if here checking, then I am out of the way of being checked again. So next move will be c2 when it's over again. And we also have, just to finish this, covering all the possibilities, we also have this one because even if we think we are on time to deliver something, because of course going here allows a fork over there with the knight. So the king just needs to be patient, and after this, there's no way. White can again stop c2. Okay, hope you have enjoyed this interesting co-study and the teamwork, and you are inspired also to prove that you are in shape with the knight plus bishop checkmate. See you.